But we'll start with Rotorua, Steve. Race number 1 on the card is the T.W. Moore 3-year-old, for the 3-year-olds obviously, over the 1400 metres.
Yeah, dominant favourite here, Thaddeus Labella Beals, who was super impressive last start at Tauranga. Trading in the red, 1.9. That's where her price opened up at on Wednesday afternoon. In front of Ziegfeld at $4.50. Rekindled Express at $5.50, just out of turn. Stars and Cream, $7.50 since the opening call. Double figures around Billy Bunn to the Maidner at 16. Canadian Girl, just back in trip, 21, just on a turn or two to 18. Usura 21 with Louisiana Man. An Explosive Miss, the Ranky at $26, definitely not friendless. So look, there's a bit of specking around Canadian Girl at a price, 21 to 18, but look, overall, the race just stifled of trading or betting thus far, but Labella Beals $1.95. Yeah,
okay, very impressive. Obviously, BP resuming Labella Beals, put them away easily. What sort of track do you think we're going to be striking there at Rotorua come Saturday afternoon before you touch on the favourite?
Yes, well, we'll be working with a soft 5 currently, and of course we are now aligned with the Australians now in terms of our track ratings. So a soft 5 would effectively be the old dead 5 if you are trying to work on particular ratings there on track conditions. So classic sort of autumn track really, isn't it? Just with that little bit of moisture in the ground, very dewy mornings, but certainly on this side, in the Waikato, we've had very good days, good warmth through the afternoons, despite being a little bit chilly in the morning. So if that can hold up around that in terms of weather-wise, we're going to have a nice track condition for all horses to be suited. Yeah, this first race where Labella Beals is a horse who I thought the first up run was terrific, and that was off the back of some really nice trials. Go Forward trials, quiet trials, they were both there to see around Labella Beals. A runner who was able to just plant herself where she wanted to be, and she was really too good for her key opponent in Ziegfeld, who was, again, that key rival here on Saturday. Barrier draw means that they can use her barrier speed once again. 1400 metres, from 1200 metres to 1400 metres is not going to be an issue for her. And look, she has been stakes placed over that distance too, and behind Dark Destroyer in a Bone Crusher. So she's got a lot about her, and she just seems to be a really nice progressive 3-year-old filly, and looks awfully hard to hold out, and hence why you have to chase $1.90.
Yeah, look, pretty short, Paul, but probably pretty short for a reason after that resuming run.
It certainly, yeah, it was very, very impressive. So I can fully understand the odds on opening quote there at $1.90. Wouldn't be surprised to see her close a wee bit shorter either. Have a look a wee bit further down the page.
Yeah, good.
Stars and Cream. I think it was someone's bet of the week a few weeks ago.
Didn't disgrace itself.
No, it didn't disgrace it. Oh, maybe just didn't quite get the track. I'm not sure.
I think it just got beaten by a very smart horse who hasn't really smashed it.
St. Bethans.
Oh, yes, sorry.
We'll see St. Bethans go later on today at Alpurnie, but yeah, again, he didn't smash the clock, St. Bethans, but he's just got something about him, a nice presence about him, and I think they're heading towards Queensland, all going well. But no total knock in Stars and Cream. I just have a bit of a query, Paul, where do you see him in the map? Because there's a lot of speed in this race. I think Labella Beals will hold a spot from barrier 1, possibly lead, as she did at Tauranga. You've got Stars and Cream, which we will talk on, has that gate speed, will look to be in the first 2 or 3. Louisiana Man has gate speed, and so does Usura and Explosive Miss. So a bit of toe in the first furlong or 2.
Yeah, so pretty good price on the eye, though, Stars and Cream, after that was it pretty short last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was around, even money, just, 220, 230, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're definitely trading the red at some stage, Stars and Cream, and eased a little bit, but yeah, I'd be against her in this particular race this time around.
Okay, what are you thinking here then, Steve? I mean, rekindled interest in play. Ziegfeld obviously got beat by Labella Beals last time. What was the thought pattern here amongst the pricing team?
There was a little bit of a disparity around Labella Beals. I personally rated her a 48% chance, so just above even money, $1.90. I don't think she'll start too shorter than the current quote at 1.9. I think there'll be a little bit of interest around horses around her. Just going back to the last start win at Tauranga, on the eye, you look at it, and there was 2 or 3 horses that vied for that leading position. You would have swore they would have gone above even tempo, but as it turned out, the first 600, they went 37.16, which is 4.6 lengths below par. Okay. So it really did suit for horses on speed, which were Labella Beals found herself in that position. So they came home last 638 and change, 1.1 lengths above par on a slow deck, take note. But I think it made it very hard for the likes of Ziegfeld, who found itself off the bit a long way from home. look, she's got record over a shorter trip, but first up, over 1200, she was off the bit, as I mentioned, for a long, long way from about the 800 onwards. She did record the fastest last 600 in that race and equal last 200 with La Bella Beals, so some similarity in the closing splits. But look, you go back to Ziegfeld last preparation, bet the likes of Marleystein and Mustang Valley, which isn't bad form reference as we speak about those two horses and what they've done since.
So if the speed is on, as you're suggesting, that could set up for a Ziegfeld potentially.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know. Maybe over the 1400 metres we might not see that pressure, which we did last start. There might be a few horses here knowing that the favourite might try and hold a spot and probably has more cards to play from the barrier 1, and they might not take that horse on. Maybe they look to take a little bit of a sit and turn off the pressure after the first 400 metres.
BP, look, obviously La Bella Beals, but is there anything down the page here? I see we've got money here for Canadian Girl, we've got money for Louisiana Man, even Yashura is taking a little bit at $21. So just anything down the page that we need to have an eye on?
I would be keeping Billy Bunter safe at $16. Now, he bounces out of the Victoria Rock Maiden race, and he does have to take on horses that have won races. So, look, he's not ideally suited under the conditions of the race. I mean, he's only giving 1.5 kilos to a horse who's won 3 races. So he is not well placed under those conditions. But he's just a horse that if the track condition can stay where it is, he's a chance for trifectas and first fours. Your Canadian Girl, coming back from the 2,000 metres, I thought she was a horse who was tracking nicely. They decided to have a go because, I mean, she's a 3-year-old filly. You might as well find out and have a shot at the Alice Classic and see from there if you are progressing on towards an Oaks. She finished into 7th position. She was beaten 17 lengths. Decided to freshen up and bring her back to a shorter trip. I think with Stars and Cream, I think the key with her in this race is maybe to ride her off pressure. Now, 1,400 metres, the way that she won 2 starts ago, that's how the race happened for her, and she won, and she was strong through the line. Yes, she won that very first race where she went so strong up front over 1,200 metres and blew them away by a very big margin and beat home 3 other rivals who were a couple of them off the bit a long way from home. So they tried to replicate that by putting her up on speed over 1,400 metres last time out, and they were beaten to finish into 2nd position by a nice horse. So I just wonder if they look to take that pair or two away from speed and try and let her finish over the top like she did a couple of starts ago. So that could play into the hands of the Bella Beals if that is the case, because of her ability to jump and find that position. And Ziegfeld really could get that nice sweet spot just off the favourite in 2nd position with that barrier draw of 2. Rekindled Express is drawn nicely in barrier number 3 as a horse who can sort of naturally put himself there also. So there the speed may evaporate very quickly from this race after the first couple of 100 metres of horses find their positions, and Stars and Cream doesn't look to find that forward position. So I just keep coming back to La Bella Beals. First use of the track could be like Tauranga. I mean, that was a good spot to be at Tauranga on that day. You needed to be up against the rail in front. She could be in that position and be very hard to beat in the first race around Rotorua.
Yeah. Is it too early to start calling Stars and Cream an enigma? I'm starting to feel like it's a little bit in and out. I can't catch it. Is that too soon, Paul? Or do you just take it when it's a big price and hope for the best?
I certainly think it represents a wee bit of value at the $7.50 at the moment, and if we were to see a little drift, then we'd certainly tweak my interest. I'm looking to a wee bit further down the page, though.
I like it when you do this. Yeah.
I'm going to have another little go at Canadian Girl. I thought that was a tough win when she was pretty much wide the whole way at Te Rapa. She was less than a length away from Miss Ella the start before that. I think the 7 or 8 furlongs, she's better suited at this stage of her career. So at it was 21 now into $18.
Okay. You're going to have that in your mix.
It will be in the mix.
Any nervous about that Canadian Girl money, Steve? Because it's a little bit early.
Oh, look, I've got a big query going back in trip. Look, she may be suited over 1,600 in time. Whether she got 2,000 metres is a question mark, and maybe the trainers and the connections are just sorting out what her sweet spot is. They backed off her after failing over 2,000 metres, so maybe her sweet spot is 14, 16, but I just want to see her back in trip. Her win at Te Rapa didn't rate highly. I know the form around it has been okay, but just on numbers was just fair. She probably needs to find a couple of lengths at least v La Bella Beals. There is one horse here I just want to mention, BP, is and Thaddeus, is Rekindled Express.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it yet.
Had a soft spot for this horse ever since it won its debut at Rotorua on this track, and it ran well on the clock, 3.3 lengths above standard for maiden class. Got turned out, came back and ran a nice second at Matamata in behind Isla J, who I've got a bit of time for as well. And that was in rating 65 company, and that 65 rating race again ran above par, and Rekindled Express finished second. So look, last start, right-handed. That was a little bit soft in the market, what you won't see in paper, I think from about $5 to $7.58 from memory, Rekindled Express. So it was a little bit soft in the market and ran accordingly. Naturally, I was still a little bit disappointed, even though it was soft in the marketplace. But the final assessment, again, probably needs to find 1.5, 2 lengths, v La Bella Beals, personal best. But I think maybe the key around this horse and what I've assessed, Rekindled Express, is left-handed v right-handed. Just hasn't gone right-handed thus far, and back left-handed could be the key.
Okay. Paul, if I gave you $100 to bet into this race, how would you do it?
I'd definitely take La Bella Beals for the win.
Yep.
And then I'd have a Canadian Gill for a top 4 finish.
Okay, like it. BP, how would you attack the first?
Yeah, similar thinking really with La Bella Beals. There was one other horse I forgot to mention in terms of the speed, and it could be the horse right at the bottom, an Explosive Miss, just with no weight, and how the horse won its maiden race last time to the races by just roaring to the front. I know it won and paid sort of $70, but just might be that little fly in the ointment towards the race pattern as well. So just be wary of that runner at the bottom of the book. But La Bella Beals, happy to just run with that as a win bet in the first race.
Okay. Is it Taylor Mitchell aboard, boys?
Yes.
Yeah, she's done that. She's done that before, hasn't she? Let him up, so she could do the same thing again on this one with the 4 kg claim.